Hello horse people, Kerstin here. Today we show you some groundwork with Frankie. Frankie is a 16-year-old Polo pony. So at the time of recording he is about a week with me. And as you can see he is quite stiff. His footfall is a little bit stompy, he's looking to the outside. And he simply doesn't really know what to do with his body whilst running on a circle. Particularly on the right side, you see what's going to happen when I ask him to bend a little bit towards the right. He simply cannot do it yet. So the hip is a little bit twisted, the right hip is a little bit too far up, and he has difficulties to get that right hind foot under the belly. And when I ask him to trot, this is going to happen. You think, what the heck? Is he lame? Is he cantering? Is he trotting? He's doing all kind of gaits until he is finally pacing. So fast forward, we are now here 2 weeks into training and everything looks a little bit round already. He's more forward, he's using more of his neck as a balance pole. However, when I ask him to go back to a trot, I have that old problem that he would go back into a pace. Yeah, so here you see he runs a little bit like a camel. He can not only pace, he can also tilt and all kind of gaits in between. So I don't want to train the pace, therefore I have to go back to a walk immediately and start again. So he seems to be loosening up better in the canter, so I did so, and this time he managed to pick a trot straight after the canter, which I was very grateful for. So, and here you see that he slowly but surely starts relaxing a bit. He's extending the neck a bit more. However, he is still far too much bent to the outside. But even the walk now is getting a bit more regular. Now Kate comes to me into the arena. Kate is Frankie's owner, and I show her how to lunge her horse that he can relax and build up some muscles and not just simply running on circles without no sense. So we are here on his left side, which is a little bit easier for him. You see he's already dropping the neck quite nicely. Even the bend to the left is a little bit easier for him than to the right. The poll is still a bit twisted at times, but all over he looks quite relaxed. And that is the most important thing, that we get him to relax his body. Without relaxed muscles, we cannot build any muscles. So we go back to walk here. He seems to be very cool. He's not fazed by anything, and he soon comes back to a complete hold at the perimeter of the circle. So he's waiting for Kate to approach him and not the other way around. Very, very good boy, Frankie. So after the lunging, I try a little bit of jaw flexions. So I'm standing now in front of the horse, pick the bit at the rings and massage kind of the angle of the lip. So that makes the horse chew. He's munching on the bit visibly, as you can see. So he has to open and close the jaw. And that is important because at the jaw joint there are many nerves coming together. So when they are blocked, or the muscles in the jaw are blocked, the entire body is stiff. So mobilizing the jaw is a little bit like putting a key into a door lock. So we open the door gently. After mobilizing the jaw, I try now to mobilize the poll by flexing it to the left and to the right. And as you can see, he has a little bit of difficulties, particularly to bend the poll towards the left, because he's so stiff, and that reflects actually the stiffness in his hind end, which I try to fix now in my very first step of in-hand work. So I'm at the inside of the horse. I grab the rein with my left hand at the bit, and my right hand is guiding the outside rein over the neck just in front of the wither. And I touch him a little bit with my whip at the haunch to encourage him to cross with his inside hind foot, with the left hind foot in front of the right one. And that is really, really difficult for him, as you can see. So this is completely new. It's a little bit like teaching an old man how to dance. No? So he really needs to learn each and every step he is taking. So Frankie used to work as a Karozzin horse first and then as a polo pony. Later on he was just tagged out, but this kind of gymnastics is completely new to him. So after the few strides of shoulder in I asked him to do, I come to a hold and guide him the other way around. So I change my direction so that I'm leading him now from the outside of the arena. So he has to step away from me, which makes the way he has to describe with his feet even longer. And you can see how difficult it is for him. He makes his tiny little steps with his hind feet, and he has to stop every now and then just to get his feet sorted again. So it's really hard for him to figure it out. However, he's very cooperative. He's such a character, this horse, and it's really fun to work with him. So I'm pretty sure that he will get it at some point. So after the counter shoulder in, I will come back to a shoulder in, which is a little bit easier for him. And you might see that when I come from the more difficult task to the easier one, he's a bit more willing, and he indeed manages to get that left hind foot a little bit further under the mass than he did before. So we come to an end now. He gets his well-deserved praise, and we're gonna see you next time.